Hello everyone, welcome to this pattern text summarization and visualization using Watson Studio. This pattern can be accessed at github.com/ibm slash text hyphen summarization hyphen and hyphen visualization hyphen using hyphen Watson hyphen studio. This pattern talks about summarizing and visualizing the text using Watson Studio platform. This is Sharath, and I'm part of IBM India Software Labs, who will be taking you all through this uh, pattern. So, why do we need to summarize and visualize the data? We know that in today's world, there is a lot of information available for us to consume. However, we might not have time to, consume each and every information that's available for us. So, in that scenario, there could be chances wherein we miss out an important news just because we did not have time to read it, or if you are planning to do a change in management, or if you are planning for an investment, then there is a good possibility that it could be a wrong move if you are not abreast with the latest news. So that is one objective of going through this of coming up with this pattern: text summarization and visualization. Let's go through each and every steps which is involved in this pattern, and that will help you to, set up the system and then run the notebook and then quickly, view the summary and visualize the data as well. So we can see that some of the advantages of summarization will be to reduce reading time, and it can make the selection process easier. It improves the effectiveness of indexing. That is one of the key things where you need to, pinpoint in the data to identify which part of the data is important and relevant for you to consume. And they are less biased compared to humans, and it can also be used in question answering systems or automatic summarization systems, to name a few. So after the reader has completed this code pattern, they will understand how to summarize the text from documents and live news feeds, create topic modeling on the text to extract important topics. Topic modeling is one of the key techniques, or I would say a very popular technique if you want to mine the unstructured data, where it can, cluster important words and then will help with the visualization of those important words, where you can get a quick peek of what the document is talking about. You can also create visualization for better understanding of the data. You can interpret the summary and the visualization of the data, and you can analyze the text for further processing to generate recommendations or taking informed decisions or taking any other actions which is as per your requirement. Now let's look at the architecture diagram. We are using Watson Studio platform, and we are also using cloud object storage. We have selected a movie review sample for this pattern. It is a movie review of the latest movie in the Mission Impossible series, the Mission Impossible 6 Fallout. And we are using Jupyter Notebook in the Watson Studio platform, and there are a couple of libraries listed there, and the Jupyter Notebook is powered by Spark. So the steps which are included are user logs into Watson Studio, creates an instance, which will also include object storage. User will upload the data into the object storage. User will import a Jupyter notebook, which we have created for your consumption from the URL. And the user will run the processing techniques along with building a statistical model for topics, for extracting topics of the data in the notebook. And user can also explore the visualization in the notebook and can also export the output to object storage if required. Now let's look at included components. We have Watson Studio, which is predominantly used for analyzing data using RStudio, Jupyter, Python in a configured collaborative environment. And it is also powered by Spark, which will help in faster processing. The second component would be cloud object storage. It provides an unstructured cloud data store to build and deliver cost-effective apps and services. Nowadays, we don't prefer to save the data on our local file. Instead, we prefer all the data to be hosted on the cloud. for easier management. The third component is Jupyter Notebook, which is an open source web application that allows us to create and share documents, which has live code, equations, visualization, and so on and so forth. Featured technology would be data science, which is nothing but systems and scientific methods to analyze structured and unstructured data in order to extract knowledge and insights. That's exactly what we are doing in this pattern. Analytics delivers the value of data for the enterprise, where we are creating a statistical model on the unstructured data to extract important keywords. And we are using Python, which is a most popular programming language at this point of time that lets us work quickly and integrate the systems effectively. So let's look at the steps which are involved. The first step would be to create an account with IBM Cloud. You can follow the instructions which is mentioned here, and then move to the next step to create a Watson Studio project. Watson Studio is a platform where you can host your different experiments, in the field of machine learning, deep learning, visual recognition, and so on and so forth. You can see that you can create an instance using data science, and you can define the project by giving a new name, and then move to the next section where we create the notebook. We open the instance, and then we select from URL, and then put this URL which is listed here. This is where we have created the notebook which has all the functions which is needed to summarize and visualize text. All you need to do is just use our notebook, and then you will be able to see the results in the Watson Studio platform. The next step is to add the data. You just have to clone this repo and navigate to the data folder where we have saved the Mission Impossible review file. You just have to select that and then add it into the Watson Studio platform. The next step is to insert the credentials. So after you have added the data into the data assets tab in Watson Studio, you will have to insert the data in the form of credentials. That is one way of inserting the data into the Jupyter Notebook. Next section is to run the notebook. We usually run the notebook from top down, where you can run each cell one by one, or you can run all the cells at once. It is depending on your comfort. The last section is after you have run all the cells, you will have to analyze the output which you see in the Watson Studio Jupyter Notebook. As you can see that the first output is about word cloud. We can see that the important keywords from the specific movie review dataset is being displayed there. We can identify that this dataset is talking about a movie. It has Ethan in it, and it talks about Cruise. It talks about Fallout. It clearly says Mission Impossible, and so on and so forth. We can, by looking at this visualization, we can make out that the dataset that we are using is talking about a movie. And which movie would that be? That would be a Mission Impossible movie. And who has acted in the movie? It is Tom Cruise, and his screen name is also there. That is Ethan Hunt. And there are a lot of other information as well. If you want to explore more, you can use all those words and create a dispersion plot, which we have done in the notebook, which will tell us as to when those words are being used in that text corpus. How often are they being used? Is it in the beginning of the text, or is it in the middle, or is it towards the end? Is what we get to know using the lexical dispersion plot. The next visualization is the topic model, which we have done on this dataset. As you can see that we have used LDA technique, which is latent dirichlet allocation. It is a probabilistic model with interpretable topics. It is one of the top or most popular NLP techniques with with several real-world applications such as summarization, recommendation, dimensionality detection, etc. So to visualize our topics, we have used PyL Davis library, and we have created an interactive visualization which will display the topics along with the most relevant keywords. So if you look at the keywords on the right hand side, it clearly talks about Mission Impossible, and it also says Fallout. It says it gives the actor name, and so on and so forth. And by looking at those topics, we can easily interpret that this topic is about a movie, and it is played by Tom Cruise, and his screen name is also there. So this is how we are able to summarize and visualize the data. As we saw that using a big chunk of news, we were able to summarize it to extract the keywords, and that reduced the time by three quarters, and we were able to reduce the time even further by visualizing those keywords. We have created a statistical model which is for latent reticulate allocation, and we have displayed the key topics from those keywords, which is giving a good preview of what is there in the dataset. So this pattern can be accessed at github.com/IBM/text summarization and visualization using Watson studio. Let's quickly look at the notebook as well as to see how we have designed it. We'll start the notebook by importing the necessary libraries which are needed to perform the actions, and we will go further down to follow the instructions. We just have to run each cell one at a time, or run all the cells together. We'll read the data into this cell, and then there are a couple of functions to extract files from object storage, where we have uploaded our data file. And then we have a couple of helper functions to extract summary and keywords. And we are able to print the summary and keywords of the text. We are doing some manipulation of the data by removing punctuation and special characters, and we are doing some pre-processing for the topic model. And we're also creating n-grams. Sometimes in dataset, this creation of n-grams can be useful, where you can configure the number of words that you need in that particular gram. It could be like bigrams, trigrams, and so on and so forth. And then we move ahead to create a word cloud. It clearly talks about a movie and Mission Impossible, and all the keywords from the text are highlighted. And we are also analyzing the frequency of words as to how many words appeared in each, how many words appeared as per the frequency. We have set a counter to display the words which have appeared more than thrice. We're creating a dispersion plot here, and the topics that we choose for the dispersion plot is as per the output from the word cloud. Whichever word is highlighted, that will become the topic for dispersion plot. I mean, you can change the words as per your requirement. In the sense, we have only selected about 9 words. Instead of 9, you can make say 20 words. That will give even a clear picture of which word is being spoken and when. That's what it talks about. And then we are pre-processing for topic modeling. We are creating the topic model here. We are extracting 2 topics, and then we have selected 20 words per topic. We are computing the perplexity and coherence score, which is one of the measures to judge the goodness of the topic model. We can see that perplexity score is in negative, which is good, and we have a coherence score of 0.86, which is very good. That tells us that our topic model has done well with extracting the topics. We go ahead to the visualization part of it, and that is not getting displayed here, but it will get displayed in the notebook when you run it in Watson Studio. So that completes the end-to-end flow of summarization and visualization for the particular text of movie reviews, which is for Mission Impossible. In the next section, what I have done is to summarize and visualize news articles as well, where we are taking live feeds from this URL, and then we are printing the text. This is such a big text, and then we are extracting the summary, and we are extracting the keywords as well, and we are doing a word cloud on that summary and keywords. And you can see that it clearly talks about Brexit, and then it talks about Prime Minister, it talks about EU and UK, talks about extension, so on and so forth. There is a dispersion plot to identify the frequency of the words in that particular text. And we are doing some pre-processing for creating the topic model. And we are also demonstrating how do we save the model, load the model. You can use the created model on new data as well by loading the model and then doing an update on the already created model. And we are computing the perplexity and the coherence score. Perplexity is lower the better metric, and coherence score is about 86. And we are using Pyle Davis library to visualize the topics. And in this case, it is not getting displayed, but you can see it in the notebook. So this is all about the notebook, which is available in this Git repository. Please do bookmark this repository, github.com/IBM/text summarization and visualization using Watson Studio. Thanks for watching.